Hold on.
Good morning, influencers. Good morning. So we're going to give you all a few seconds to tune in, share this live out. Good morning. We're just super excited to be here with you all this morning. We have our special guest with us this morning. Y'all give it up for Lady Cayla Jackson.
Hi.
Woo! So we are super excited to be here this morning. And today's live, what we're going to be discussing, our topic is depression can't defeat you. I don't care what you're going through. I don't care what's going on in your life. Depression cannot defeat you. And this morning, the reason why we're talking about this topic is because social media platforms, I've seen a lot of it. Good morning to Rhonda. Good morning, Elder Cheryl. Good morning, Sister Sanithia. Thank you all for tuning in with us. We've seen a lot of talk about mental health and depression being one of those things. And this, good morning, Keisha. It's one of those things that, we don't like to talk about, which I am a firm believer we should be discussing. We should be talking about it because you never know exactly how and what someone's going through and what advice you can offer them to help them to get through. So this morning, we're just saying, we're letting you know that depression cannot defeat you. Is that right, Kayla?
That's right, and that's everything that we need to focus on right now, because these teenagers don't really know that they have a lot of different options, and there's a lot of different things that are coming for them and that they have to deal with and watch out for, because depression is real and it's a very common thing these days, and it's something that we tend to look over because a lot of people don't pay attention to their mental health because it's just something that they don't like to think about. People don't like to think of, that they have mental problems or mental issues, or that it's just something that they might have to deal with growing up. But it's an easy thing to come across, it's an easy thing to recognize, and it's an easy thing to come over. You just have to know what your options are and be prepared to fight that, and be prepared to let someone else know that that's something you're going through, because it is hard to do that alone. It really is, and it's just something that we do need to attack head on.
So exactly, you heard it from our special guest herself. This is definitely a real issue that we need to discuss, that we need to be aware that it's real. And a lot of times people are not going to come out and say, hey, I'm depressed, or hey, I am going through something, or for whatever the reason may be, whether it's because they're just not ready yet. Because sometimes people are not ready to really talk about those issues. They don't feel comfortable. What would you say?
And a lot of times people don't feel comfortable because of what she or that person has to say. And I feel like that's just something that we really need to just scratch out of the equation, because most of the time when people are talking about another person, it's because they don't really want to focus on their own issues. So in that case, this is where you just need to go, ignore what everybody else has to say, and seek whatever type of help you need for your own separate individual situations, because whatever they're saying is not boosting your confidence or your situation in any way, period, or theirs even. You really just need to focus on what it is that you have going on, and let yourself know that there are options, and whatever anybody else has to say is not correct information. It's not facts. It's not anything that's going to help you today or tomorrow. It's just something that you have to ignore and get over, and it's something that you're going to face your entire life, because they talked about Jesus, didn't they?
Okay. So that is so true. When someone is speaking negativity into you, or hearsay that it triggers that depression, or triggers some trauma that you have experienced, taking that in and allowing that to sit on you causes more damage than good. And I want to say, I've also dealt with depression. And, this is something I touched on a few lives ago when I talked about the book project, Breaking the Code of Silence Now. When I was going through the depression, I had people that reached out and was like, I'm here for you. I love you. Do you want to talk? And at that point in time, I didn't feel like, people could relate to what I was going through. Everybody can't say, oh, well, I know what it feels like to be pregnant and carry a baby and love on that baby, lose your baby, and then say, oh, well, I'm here. And by all means, I do believe that they were there genuinely, but I didn't feel comfortable having that vulnerable moment or having that vulnerable conversation where I, would feel like it would be accepted and not judged. So I think that that's a major thing. Like, people don't want to talk about their depression or what they're going through because of fear of being judged, or, oh, she crazy. Right? Oh, she crazy. Have you heard that? Like, somebody
that, but that comes into terms where everyone's situation is different.
Right.
So it's kind of hard sometimes to relate to each other in different areas where you might say it affects one person one way and another person another way. But that's just what we need to, another thing, not focus on. Just how it affects you is not necessarily the thing that you need to look at, but what it affects is what you need to look at, and how you can be helped. Everybody's situation is going to be different. Everybody's need for help is going to be different. So you going to someone else with depression and being like, hey, we both have depression, let's work this out. That's not going to help you. You yourself need to go and find somebody who is very known and has the resources and the abilities to help you to get onto a path to where you need to be at. And I'm not saying that talking to somebody else with depression is a bad idea, because sometimes it is a good thing to be there for somebody who is going through something similar than you are. But looking for someone to be going through the exact same thing that you are is just something that you're not going to find. But that's not where you should become discouraged or feel upset with yourself because your situation is different.
Yes.
That's just the whole key to depression. Depression is something that it doesn't have a face. It doesn't have a known look or something that you can necessarily identify, because it's popping up new every single day. And that's something that I've learned just by studying other people and seeing different things and people's perspective of it. It's never ever going to be textbook. Depression is something that's always constantly shape-shifting and reforming itself, because society is adjusting and people's way of life is adjusting. And just for that to be said, you cannot go and expect someone to be blatantly sitting around in front of you saying, oh, I'm depressed, I'm upset, my life is going horribly. They're going to hide it. They're going to do the best things they can to keep going and keep seeming like they're okay, but you just never know what could trigger them or push them or things like that. And that's where we go into being kind to people for no reason.
That's good.
Because you never know, the simplest, smallest thing could be something that keeps somebody there the next day or the next day after that. A small sentence, a simple smile, just anything for it. And when it's something that you are dealing with individually, it's something that you have to be careful in what situations that you put yourself in. If you know that you get upset easily over certain situations, why go looking for those situations? Why even allow those situations to be presented to you?
That's good.
You need to guard your heart and guard your mind and everything that is important to you, because you are a temple, and you cannot allow different things to become and attacking it and wearing and tearing it down when you know that's something that you cannot handle. And that's fine. Not everybody is able to defeat armies on their own, and that's okay. We are all different. We all have our different needs, and the fact that you are willing to sit here and fight for yours is what makes you strong. And that's just something that you need to get inside of your mind.
So y'all heard it. She's dropping gems this morning. Like, I just love it. You said depression doesn't have a face. That is so true. And when we as a society get that understanding that depression doesn't have a face, that we don't know exactly what a person is going through. And I say all the time, a small gesture, like you said, can literally change a person's life.
Seriously.
So my question to you, Ms. Cayla, is with the younger generation and understanding depression and mental health in the younger and in the community, how do you think we as, an older generation or somebody that's equipped as well as have the education, how can we reach that younger generation?
In the younger generation, if we're talking about little kids, and it is there too, in the really small babies, like, it's bad. And it's sad, honestly, because it's normally caused by kids their age, and they can't really grasp the concept that what they're doing can affect their peers that way. And so the only thing I can say is killing it with kindness. And that is a very old saying, and it's a very true one, a very strong one, honestly. And it's not just saying killing the other person, killing whatever it is you're facing. You could be killing something in somebody else's life. You being nice to somebody else and giving love in someone else's life is something that could really take them and uplift them and help them come over something that they didn't think they could. And it's crazy. It's very, very crazy how just something so small could really push someone over a gigantic hill that they never thought they could even take a step towards. I remember in a small situation where I was having a really down day. I was really upset about nothing, honestly. And a stranger came up to me and they just told me, whatever it is that is upsetting you, it's not bigger than you.
Ooh.
And I thought about that, and I just was like, you know what? Honestly, and I can attest to that. Every situation that I have been in, or every situation that I have seen someone go through, has always been temporary. It's always been something that has a time limit. And if you can withstand whatever it is that you're going through for that certain amount of time, you can always just look back and appreciate how strong you were for how long it was. You can always just look at yourself and be like, I did something I never thought I could do. What's next? What can I defeat next?
That's good. That's good.
What can I take over
Go
next?
Lady Cayla. Yes, that's so good. So that is amazing. So the younger ones, I love that. I love that. Kill it with kindness, because you're right. We don't know what we're breaking off, what strongholds we're breaking off by just being genuine, just being loving, just being kind. Of course, all of those things are fruits of the Spirit. Yes, Pastor Jackson, she better talk this morning. So yes, this is her parents and her, because you was raised in an environment that, let you know you're beautiful, that instills some of this stuff in you. But society has a way of pulling us into things, right? And making us explore things that was against everything that we was taught, right?
Of course.
So it's just amazing that you're able to, give this information out. And the reality is this is definitely an ongoing conversation. This is something that we need to be discussing. These are things that we need to be addressing. We need to let young people know. We need to let people know in general that there is safe spaces for you to be who you are, right?
You should be a safe space within yourself, okay? And I understand that sometimes it's not always easy to sit in something by yourself, but it's something that people need to develop. And sitting down, looking in the mirror and being like, I can do this.
I can do it.
I can do this.
The self-talk.
Because in all honesty, if you don't see yourself doing it, who really can see you doing it? And every day we're going to go through things that we don't like. Every day we're just going to see different things that we're not used to. And it's okay. That's okay. That is what we're supposed to do. Life is supposed to be about things that we have never seen before. Yes. It's all about what we do with it. So whatever you take in your situation that you're given is what you're going to be known as. So do you want to be known as somebody who looked at something, trembled and fell, or somebody who looked at something and stood tall and said, this is what I can handle and this is what I will handle and nothing can bring me down from this? And I believe anyone can do anything. And that's just something that whenever you feel as though you're strong enough in your heart that you can achieve something and you're going to do whatever to chase that, that's just something that I feel as though anybody can develop. Yes. It's a matter of closing out the people who are so focused on spreading hatred because they're not able to see themselves doing something that they never could wrap their mind around. And you don't want to be like those people. Someone who gave up on themselves so they attack other people or do worse onto the world just so they could feel better about themselves or whatever it is that they're seeing in their life. It's not about always what other people have to say or the help that you can get from others, but it's about what you can do for yourself. Right. It might not feel right today or tomorrow. It's just something that takes time. Growing takes time. Yes, ma'am. A flower doesn't go from a seed to a beautiful open flower in one night. Okay. It takes time for that thing to grow up out the ground, out the dirt, out of all the soil, and come up over the other flowers that are trying to get in its way and knock it down, all the wind, rain, and things that are trying to keep it from growing and being strong and tall. But you know what? After all the seasons, after all the turmoil, after everything that said it wouldn't, after being stepped on, it still did what it had to do and shine bright and inspire someone else to get up and do the exact same thing.
Listen.
It is glory.
Listen. It's glory. What you say?
It is glory in your story.
Yes. So listen, y'all have to understand, we're going to give y'all some takeaways, and one of which for me is, and this, I heard this from Cayla, y'all. Yes. Hashtag depression does not have a face.
It does not.
It does not have a face. So that's a big takeaway. We can't get so caught up with saying, we see people to say, oh, she's depressed. Mm-hmm. If it doesn't have a face, how can you label something that doesn't have a face? You don't know what a person's going through.
Or another problem with people looking at people and saying, oh, she ain't depressed. It ain't nothing wrong with her. And so people thinking, okay,
she got it all together.
Yeah, or even just like that, someone not being able to seek proper help or do the proper thing for themselves in order to help themselves out of a situation because they're so focused on what it may look like. Depression doesn't necessarily have to be something that causes you to sit around and listening to sad songs and not wanting to do anything. It can affect you in several different ways. Yes. You just have to read up on it and not be afraid to recognize something that's within yourself.
Right.
Not be afraid to look at the darkness that is within yourself. It's something that you have to be able to want to shine a light on and stick out, you know? Something that you have to defeat head on, because you're not going to be able to fight any type of demons or fight any type of battles with no blindfold, not looking at it.
Not
paying no mind, not with your sword up. You can't do nothing like that.
That's so
Turn
good.
around with your back towards it. It's not going to happen. It's
not going to happen. That's so good. And
you're
that's the truth. The reality is we fear what we don't face. Right? Absolutely. She said we have to hit this thing head on. So we have to literally take that self-inventory to say, I know I can't do this alone.
Of course not.
The reality is you said it right. We can't be surrounded by people like, you know, somebody else that's depressed. We can have those conversations, but they're not going to help us out of the depression if they're battling it too. Mm-hmm. And that was something that God had spoke to me some time ago. He said, you know, we want to be surrounded by like-minded individuals.
Yeah, it's not always something.
But the reality is the like-minded individual is going to, you know, they're going to go along with my pity party. Whereas a mature-minded individual is going to say, girl, let's talk about it. Now, after you done said this, now what we going to do? Let's move. We got to move. We can't stay here.
Not at all. And that's also another problem with sitting with somebody who thinks in the same manner that you do. It's like pressing replay constantly on your problems and on the things that you're going through. It's a constant reminder of what you can't do, or things that are weighing you down, or things that cause you to feel slower. Now, imagine if you are just watching the same exact movie over and over and over again. The same movie from the same genre. What new are you learning? What new things are you seeing? What different things are you feeding into your mind that can cause it to grow and think about different things? You have to go out and explore different options and different people and different perspectives, because one perspective is not ever going to lead you out of anywhere at all, because there are many paths out of many situations. And the fact is that you just need to find what yours is. Yes. And there's nothing wrong with creating your new path. You could be helping someone else out. Yes, that's the entire thing. I feel as though that each and every individual is put into different situations so that way it can become the norm for somebody else. Yes. Because do you think that today's definition of normal was the definition of normal however so long ago? Even 2 days ago?
No.
Society is constantly changing. We are constantly changing. Yes. And once we recognize that as humans and we become comfortable with that change is a thing that we all go through, we're all going to do, and we're not going to stop doing. That's something that once we catch that and we grasp that, we'll be able to take control of it, because change is something that can be absolutely beautiful. We just look at the world around us and just think about how things were 50 years ago, and how society was 50 years ago, and how much we have developed, and how many different ideas that we have brought to the table, and how many things that were rejected time after time that now today is used every single day in many people's lives, that is so important and so rich and nourished, and something that we all support. Don't ever be afraid of something that you're going through, because you're going through it. Yes. You have your reasons. You have your purpose. And honestly, it's something that I feel once it's used to the proper way and with the proper tools and for the proper people can be amazing.
So y'all, listen, I'm going to come back and read some of y'all comments, but I just appreciate you, Cayla.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you. And listen, God has spoke to me and said, we're going to take Wow Inspired to the next dimension, the next level. So we're going to be having special guests on. We're going to bring Cayla back, y'all. Because listen, she said like-minded people, when you associate with like-minded people, it's like pressing replay.
Yes.
You watch the same movie over and over again, eventually you'll be able to know the words and the timing.
Just memorizing scenes, like,
you can't grow. So that was so good. This was great, y'all. I'm telling you. I'm super, super proud of Cayla. Cayla's like a baby sister to me. I love her. And even in this, you know that, the test is going to come, but you keep on being inspired. You keep on inspiring other people. Keep on being beautiful. It's like she said, a flower just don't go from a seed to blossom into this beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. It goes through a process. So change is a process. So today we just want to let you know through this information, depression cannot defeat you. When you take self-inventory to say, this is an issue, this is a problem, I'm going to handle this head on, get around individuals that will inspire and encourage you to move forward, press forward, move beyond that depression. Don't stay stuck. Don't stay stagnant. But people that's going to speak to you and say, you are significant. Even when you don't feel it. Killing it with kindness.
Definitely.
Those are the words from Miss Cayla Jackson.
Slaying it with kindness.
Slaying it, yes.
Slaying it.
We slay everything else, right?
Have to.
Yeah, so,
yes.
Another thing that I love that you said is an army don't defeat itself, right?
No, not
so
at all.
Even with an army, you need people to make that army to defeat what's on the other side.
Yes.
So here, listen, depression cannot defeat you. Is that right, Cayla?
It never will. It never defeated anybody. It never defeated anybody. People defeated themselves by giving up on themselves.
Yeah, so don't be that person that don't stays in the depression and allow it to eat at you. Be that person that says, I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to seek help. Even when I don't feel like it, even when I don't feel accepted, I'm still going to reach because there's someone out there that loves me enough to give me a kind word, to give me a smile, to help me along the way. So Cayla, would you tell our viewers, those that will listen to this replay, will you tell them what's going on in the life of Miss Cayla Jackson? Who are you? What do you do?
Well, I am somewhat of a makeup artist as well as a photographer now, getting into. You can contact me at my Facebook page, Kay Jackson. If you want to see some of my work, I have no problem sending it to you. I was a little bit in hibernation for a while, but I'm coming back out.
She is
just
back.
Trying to explore new and different things and spread positivity anywhere I can reach, anywhere I can touch, anywhere I feel as though it needs to be, because this world it's growing and it's changing, and it's either going to grow to be better or it's going to grow to be worse. And I feel as though I can get my hands on a certain part and kind of try to shift it in the right direction and help other people my age, if not older and younger, to get on the same wagon and help me and do everything that we can so that we can save ourselves, honestly.
Yes, that's good.
Honestly.
That's so good. So y'all be on the lookout. Y'all contact Kay. Slay by Kay. And she slays me. She slays me. So y'all contact her. Let's go back and read some of our comments here real quick. We are 2 minutes into our time. We thank you all for tuning into us this morning. We appreciate you all. There is a stigma when it comes to mental health. Absolutely right. You have to seek wise counsel. What do you do when you take the meds but the doctors are not helping far as someone to talk to? You reach out to someone in your circle and you actually allow them to help you to tap into other resources. When you're in a place that you don't know who to talk to, or your doctor's not talking to you, reach out to your people that's in your circle. Even when you don't want them to know exactly where you are, reach out to them. They may have some resources, they may have some connections to help you get connected, to get some help.
And just pray about it, honestly. And sometimes you can't necessarily lean on. You might not have somebody to lean on. And if you don't, you just have to sit down sometimes, get on your knees and close your eyes and pray about it. Because you are sitting there trying to seek help and look for an answer that hasn't been written yet. Write your own.
Ooh.
Write your own.
Write your own. Thank you, Cayla. That's good. So just sit there and pray. You heard what she said. Sometimes you're looking for an answer that hasn't been written yet, and that's good. Write your own. Hashtag write your own. Crystal, thank you for tuning in with us. My Mia says she's so proud of you, Cayla.
Thank you, Mama. I love you.
We've all been taught in church to wear a facade. it's been a taboo in church to say you're depressed. But David was depressed. We've been taught to pray, and that's it. We go to the doctor. You're right, Elder Cheryl. Yet in the Bible, it deals with the mind a lot. If you can help, get help, get help. That's right, Cayla. Don't worry about what others say. Go ahead, Cayla. This is so good. I really believe that this is needed to be talked about more, not just for the young people, but older people, because of our pride. That is so true. Pride is a terrible thing, and that pride is what keeps us from seeking help. Pride is the thing that keeps us from when we are trying to grow. And, we know that we need to move from this space to that space. Pride will get us put us in a place where someone is dropping straight gems like Cayla's doing this morning, and we won't receive it because we're not ready to move, right? So yes, definitely kill that pride. Speak it. This is your pruning season, and you're blossoming into a beautiful flower. Cayla, Elder Cheryl said you're blossoming into a beautiful flower.
Thank you.
Yes, there is glory in your story. Go ahead, Cayla. Yes. Super proud of you. Thank you, Pastor Mia. An army doesn't defeat itself. What are the statistics of depression? That we don't have right now, but we can get that information on part 2 of this live. But since you all are very interested, we will definitely come back next month or within the next couple weeks. Listening to this young lady has really made me think about a lot of things. And it has made me realize that my depression comes from telling me that I will never be anything and that I will never have anything in life. And it's really hard because this is how life is. Listen, we're going to get connected with you. You are amazing. You will be something. And she just said a while ago, don't seek an answer. You can't seek an answer for an answer that hasn't been written. You can write your own answer.
And another thing with in that, when you feel as though you get those negative thoughts and things like that, you have to reverse that and squash it with positive energy. It's no other way to kill it but with positive energy.
Yeah.
You cannot ever defeat negative energy with more negative energy. The only thing you are is fueling fire, and there's no point in doing it. You got to put it out. You have to go and find something that is positive to you, something that helps you, that you know is good for you. Something, if you are feeling yourself being upset, going out and listening to a sad song is not ever going to help you. You need to go out and empower yourself and look and find whatever it is that you know is going to make sure you know that you think that you are beautiful and that you have things going for yourself, because you do. You just have to pay attention to those aspects that you have going on and not let whatever it is in front of you distract you from whatever it is that you have before you lose it. Because that is exactly what can happen.
That's good. Don't press replay on your problems.
Don't do that.
Don't press replay on your problems, because you'll reliving and keep going in circles. Pastor, I brought that back up. Don't press replay on your problems, Cayla. Thank you, Cayla. Thank you so much, Cayla. I got to tell you all, when God said, bring the special guest on, He has literally directed and guided me to different individuals to invite on this platform. So I appreciate you taking and accepting the invitation. I thank you so much. So listen, guys, this is Wow Inspired with Shay Speaks. And our special guest, Miss Cayla Jackson. We are definitely bringing her back. I love her energy. I love all of the jewels that she just dropped. And guess what, y'all? She didn't have no notes. She had no notes. She was all fired up and ready for this. So we are a super.
I'm gonna talk to these people.
Yes. We're spreading this positivity. We want y'all to be inspired, to know that God has called you to do something great. Because guess what? The tagline for Wow Inspire is we are inspiring the influencer in you. So this thing is, we're not just here to talk to you. We are here to talk with you, to talk you through whatever it is, to allow you to know. The same way Cayla said earlier.
Water and flowers.
We water and flowers.
Water and flowers.
I love it. Yes. We are water and flowers. Each of you are amazing. You are beautiful. And we are over our time. But y'all, if y'all enjoy this, please share this live out. It is in her DNA. It's in her DNA. Y'all share this live out. Let someone know. Tell them, Follow the Wow Inspired Movement page. We are going. We are moving. We're not moving. We're shifting.
Oh, that's right.
We're shifting because when you move, something that's moved can easily go back. But when you shift, everything that's connected to you, everything around you shifts. It's got to change. It's got to move, right? So we are shifting. Let someone know we are just here to inspire the influencer in you. We love you all. Cayla, do you have any last words you want to say?
Just tune in and watch out for me again. You know where to contact me. I should be tagged in this video. If you want to get up with me, reach out to me personally. If anyone ever needs someone to talk to or help them figure out different things, I will be here. I'll have time for whoever. It doesn't matter. We're all here to help each other, okay?
Yes, we are here to help you. So listen, don't seek an answer that hasn't been written yet. That's my takeaway, y'all. Don't seek an answer that hasn't been written yet. You have the ability to write your own. We are here just to inspire the influencer in you. Have an amazing Saturday. We love you all to life. And as Cayla said, if you are in need of some type of support, you don't have them right now in your present circle, reach out to us. We are here, intentionally here for you. We love you. Have an amazing Saturday.